Well, at least we're not the Packers. They just lost to the Carolina Panthers. That's all I have to say about that. Yeah, so 27-24, Minnesota wins. They're 4-4. We're 5-3. Kudos to the defense. Kudos to Brian Flores. Kudos to their pass rush. That was a real sloppy performance by the Detroit Lions. They had every opportunity to win that game. The defense, I think, played pretty respectful for the most part. Outside of that, like first two or three drives by Minnesota in the first half, they were pretty explosive. But outside of that, they kind of curtailed. Then you start seeing the Lions start to climb. Offense has a hard time clicking. Goff didn't really look like himself, obviously, because the way he looks like himself is they run the ball, he's protected, and he has play action. But didn't happen in the beginning. That kind of came alive too late. J-Mo with obviously the touchdown at the very end. But listen, when you got a blocked field goal, Montgomery fumbles the ball, Phantom rushing the passer call, man, that was a Halloween hangover. That was a strange game. I did not expect that to be. I know we were favored 8.5 by Vegas, and that's got to be one that doesn't really say the script, right? Hermdo just texted me and said at least the Packers lost. Just right, because at the end of the day, they did. They blocked a punt. They blocked a field goal, and Montgomery fumbled. Yeah, no pass rush. No block. The Minnesota pass rush was too strong. Our offensive line could not stop it no matter how healthy they were. Taylor Decker was there up until the end. Mahogany was there. So pretty flat on that side. If we're not winning by halftime, we're not winning that game. And that's pretty much what happened. By halftime, I kind of figured no matter what was going to happen, we just did not have what it took to win that game. Want to say probably now that the North looks a little stronger, Cincinnati, Chicago, 47-42. Holy shit, dude. Chicago wins. We still won the North as far as best team overall, but the North continues to prove a strong division. You might see a team like where we thought this was going to be Detroit, Green Bay. This isn't going to be just Detroit, Green Bay. The North is wide open. Detroit still is at the top in my eyes because we're 5-3. Chicago's 5-3. We own that. Green Bay's 5-2-1 now. It's kind of where that tie comes into place. So this is going to be strange. I guess if there was a time for us to flatline coming out of a bye week, good time when Green Bay flatlines 2 with Carolina. I really want to go back to that game. There was so much hype before this game with Jordan Love. They had every little, let's see, how did he do? Jordan Love, wow, not even a touchdown, 26-37 and 1 interception. Wow, that's nuts. What do you think about that Lions game? Well said. Flat. They didn't come out alive. If you couldn't hear ball, said boring, dull, flat, not themselves. I felt bad too because our son was at that game for his birthday weekend. And I really thought, man, that's a safe game to go to. A divisional game at home. We have this just snapped a 5-game win streak at home against divisional opponents. We haven't lost to the Vikings since 2022, 2023. So nothing's safe, nothing's easy in the NFL, nothing's given. But that was not a fun football game to watch. We lost to Kansas City, and at least that was intense. That was rough, right? But that was kind of closer to how we played Green Bay in the beginning of the season. Not like ourselves, just not existent. Our personality wasn't there. The grit wasn't there. St. Brown had drops. I can't really fault Goff too much because he's only as good as you're going to give him protection on, and the protection just wasn't there. So not really going to hit the panic meter, freak out, because I know what this team's capable of, right? It's just one of those things where this is the NFL, and you're going to have a couple games where you just don't look normal. Better now than later. I mean, we get a second chance to play Minnesota. with it being a divisional opponent, obviously we're going to get round 2, but that's going to be at Minnesota. I don't know. Taking a look around the league, we've got some pretty interesting games went down. I got the big one going on right now. Obviously, that's why everyone's pretty much watching that. I'd imagine they're sitting there watching the Buffalo Bills hopefully beat Kansas City. Obviously, Kansas City just scored though. So, looking around the league real quick, dude, you want to talk about a team that maybe got slapped around a little bit that we didn't think was Indy Pitt. Now everybody was writing Pittsburgh out. Everybody's writing Indy in to be undefeated outside of that 1-1 win. They were going to go, 16-1, but 27-20, that's a game where obviously they're playing at home and Pittsburgh's defense needed to show up. They were calling them out as the most expensive defense in the league and the worst defense in the league. So you want to talk about non-existent? That's kind of where Pittsburgh's defense has been at lately. You still got Los Angeles and New Orleans going on right now. Again, Green Bay and Carolina, dude. Seriously, I would rather beat myself at home to a good Minnesota defense than lose at home to Carolina. The Panthers, Bryce Young and the Panthers. Wow. Oh, New England, Atlanta, 24-23. I guess you could call that kind of, we're not really sure what Atlanta is. That's a wild card team, so they took that L. They were riding a little hot streak, though. San Francisco, New York. Who the hell and what the hell is San Francisco? Well, they're 6-3. That's all we know. So 34-24. That's another coin flip team. Who the hell are the Giants? Chargers, Tennessee. Another one too. Who are the Chargers? We've seen two different versions of the Chargers. So hey, maybe this is just what happens when you're this early on into the season, where your good teams are going to be 5-3, 6-3. Because you're just going to see that kind of teeter-totter, right? So look at this Seattle-Washington. Now, this one is really going to be, is this going to, I don't want to say it, but is this where we see Washington just kind of fade away, right? And Sam Darnold look like he's worth the money. So I don't know. Weird week in the NFL. Nothing special really happened. It's crazy that Chicago-Cincy was the big game of the week. But Chicago's really starting to figure out who they are, which is cool for Ben Johnson. Caleb Williams was 280, 3 touchdowns, 20 of 34. Not bad. He's really starting to make himself out to be somebody. Still okay with that, though, for us. I'm not worried about Chicago. Let's pull up some of these stats, meaningless stats to this meaningless game. J.J. McCarthy, 14 of 25. 2 touchdowns and an interception. He was sacked 5 times, which actually, hey, I told my kid before the game, I said, make sure JJ gets sacked 5 times, and he was. So, he was not outstanding, guys. This was not an outstanding performance for Minnesota's offense. They didn't carve us up. Aaron Jones did rush for 78 yards. He had 138, 31-yarder, but it was 9 attempts. So this wasn't a Vikings offense that just dominated the Detroit Lions defense. This was a Vikings offense that made the most of opportunities that we gave them, which is okay. I'm okay with that. When you beat yourself, that's correctable. Justin Jefferson has 6 receptions for 47 yards and a touchdown. Again, none of these guys had career games against us. Not too worried. But here's where it comes down to when I say beating ourselves. Look at our stats, right? So Goff has another almost perfect game. He's 108 passer rating, right? 25 of 37, 284 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's with him getting sacked 5 times. Now you take away those 5 sacks or take it down to 2, and that's 4 touchdowns for 384 yards. And I'm right. So when I say pass protection wasn't there, it shows. No matter what, though, what he did was everything we could ask him to do. Great passer rating, still played better than JJ. Big flat line right here, Montgomery and Gibbs, 40 and 25 yards. No secret, the Lions' run game is really what gets us going. So when you have a perfect passer rating from Goff and a non-existent run game and a couple of turnovers, not by your quarterback, right? Stupid ones. That's what you're going to get. But the stat sheet on our side wouldn't tell you 24 points. 97 yards for St. Brown and 97 yards for Laporta, 66 for JMO, and 2 touchdowns out of that whole slab. So if you look at our stat sheet, we win the game. But again, that's why I say you beat yourself. This is what happened. So Bates, didn't really have a problem with Bates this game. Haven't had a problem with Bates all season. But then you look on the defensive side of things, guys. I just can't believe that the Vikings took care of us the way they did. And it's no secret their pass rush is good, but we win time of possession, we win total yards, we win passing yards. They gate us on rushing, but nothing egregious. Penalties, that was stupid. 10 penalties, right? That's a beat yourself stat right there. Sacks allowed right there, 5. Total plays 62. So again, you beat yourself, you win the stat sheet, but you beat yourself, you lose the game. But happiness is you're not the Packers who just lost to the Carolina Panthers. Doc, your Bucks on a bye week, I think. Let's see, who do we have Monday night? We got Jacksonville, Las Vegas is going on right now too. Ooh la la, what a terrible game that probably is. All right, so while I'm looking about this, anyone's thoughts on the downfall of Major League Baseball, back-to-back LA Dodger championships? It's looking like the early 2000s Yankees. It's just going to be the part of the team that we're going to have to face and deal with. And I guess the bigger question is who's going to be the 2004 Boston Red Sox and who's going to come knocking it all down, because that's where we're headed right now with this whole situation, right? Who are going to dethrone the Dodgers? You got Patriots next week. Good luck with that, man. That's a hot team. Vrabel looks like the right decision. That's who they should have hired before. I love Vrabel too. I'm a big fan of him. I'm glad he's got to be so glad he got out of Tennessee. That's such a bad organization. So overall, week 9, kind of a flat week. I don't know. Say it with me, right? Unless something crazy is going to happen in this Kansas City Buffalo game. That's really the only game on the sheet I'm looking forward to seeing, and it's on right now. So let's see. Man, I'm already ready to go on to week 10. Hey, Luis Lamar's back. Makes that win look a lot better again. Now that we're not watching the demise of the Baltimore Ravens. That's not an organization I ever want to see go down. I like the Ravens. Oh my God. Okay, so Monday Night Football. Here's why it took me so long to find it. It's the Cardinals at the Cowboys. So 2 teams I could not care less about. The Cardinals are gross, and Kyler Murray belongs in the MLB, and the Cowboys are hilarious. So this is actually at Jerry's World. The Cowboys do need a little bit of love, and considering the Lions just lost and the Colts just lost, I believe this just looks like one of those ones where the Cowboys are going to look good at home, but it's going to be a shootout. The defense is gross. They're going to make the Cardinals offense, whether it's Kyler Murray, Jacoby Brissett, look too good. So that's a terrible, awful Monday Night Football game. I don't know why you'd ever book that thinking that's going to be fun, but I guess you're trying to serve the Cowboys one up at home on Monday night. That's my guess. All right, so to just to give a quick recap for that game, So, let's see, trying to find my best way of summarizing it. This is what we were for Halloween in our own way. That's the best way I can describe that game. Starting out flat like that, I put all the blame on the coaching staff. That shows me that the team was not in the right mindset at the beginning of that game. The guys weren't focused. That's probably, I haven't even seen Dan Campbell's press conference, but that's probably where he's going to start at too and tell you that it's on him. Jared Goff played a fantastic game. I got nothing but love for him. I thought JMO had a really nice game. We needed him to come alive, and this was a great time for him to do it, and he did it. Terrion Arnold comes back from an injury, gets injured again, gets his first INT of his professional career. Awesome. Love to see that. So I know who this team is after going through last year, not rating out every single little win as the most important thing in the world. Is I just want us to continue to be healthy and get through this season. I'm starting to see the finer ways of getting through a full NFL season with a winning team. My confidence is still high. That's not the problem. I'm looking more now for the trade deadline to pass. That's really what I'm waiting for. I feel like after the NFL trade deadline, after the All-Star break, there's some kind of momentum or monumental times in professional sports where that's kind of like my milestone and my marker, right? Once we've hit the trade deadline, how do we look as a team? How injured are we? How many guys do we have? How long out are they? And kind of reevaluate the whole team. I like where we're headed right now. Obviously, last year, dude, we lost touch. So last year, the sail was blown out of our, or the wind was blown out of our sail. This year, stumbling around and having some goofy losses to Minnesota and Green Bay where you're beating yourself, it's okay. Now, let me tell you this. Had J.J. McCarthy came out and 34 of 47 for 420 yards and 4 touchdowns and lit that offense on fire and our defense looked torched and gassed and Hutch looked ineffective, okay, that's where I'm freaking out. But that's not what happened. So, you know, you're down 24-17. There's 6 minutes left, the fourth quarter. Um, you know, we're trimming the lead, but here we are to a 41-yard field goal that was attempted and blocked. That was blocked, right? So how you gonna let that happen? Come on, guys, right? That's the easy 3 on the points. Then you go and score the touchdown. You win the game. I mean, there's so many scenarios where we had the game, we're ready to win it, and we gave it away. Not to beat a dead horse and say something mean, but kind of like the Toronto Blue Jays. What the fuck did you guys do last night against the Dodgers? I'm still really more upset about that. I feel like that was the Illuminati's globalist way of reminding us that LA is still LA. I don't get that. I watched that game, and you're going to go into extra innings and still lose that game. So either way, flat loss, flat game, flat weird, strange week in the NFL. On to bigger and better things, on to week 10. Week 10 is, I mean, we're playing a Commanders team that currently, as I say this, is 3-5. The way I see it, they're going to be 3-6. So we'll be playing a Commanders team on the road where we can clear our heads. Sound like we were buying our own bullshit at home a little too much today and go out and get a real gritty win. So that's a game, though, against the Commanders. I want to see us put 48 fucking points up. I'm sitting here giving these guys some love and a little bit of Halloween hangover and hometown ego, but that's the game, boys, where I want to say now that the trade deadline at that point had passed, right? So the deadline, I think, is on the 4th. So now that the trade deadline's passed, Halloween's over, we're in week 10, we're double digits, we're past the bye week, we're 5-3. Go beat a Commanders team. That is beatable. That's the game you should beat, right? The Vikings have more positive momentum, I believe, than the Commanders right now in their season. Um, you know, So we'll see. That's where my head stands right now. I don't know. Maybe you tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm a Lions slacky. And again, we didn't lose to Carolina at home like the Packers. So ha ha ha. Taking a look, see ahead though, you got Lions Eagles. Now that Eagles game, I'll still say on my forever, I'll say that Eagles game is a very winnable game. I feel like the football gods want us to beat the Eagles. Giants Lions, that's a game, again, a trap game. Who are these Giants, right? We know Scadabo's out, but who's Jackson Dart? And then we've got Packers Lions. That's the rematch where, we've got the Packers coming to us. It's a nice opening the season in Lambeau because November 27th playing in Green Bay at 1:00, you don't know what you're going to get. So that's a game where Packers Lions, there's going to be a lot of, that's going to be a playoff vibe game at Ford Field. And then you've got the Cowboys Lions. Oh boy, we're going to have some fun with that game. Cowboys Lions. I can't wait for that one. And then Lions Rams, guys, these are going to be some big games, right? I've talked about 2 primetime games, 2 4:00 games. Steelers Lions, holy crap. We get to play Aaron Rodgers this year. I completely forgot about that. And that's another 4:00 game. And then Lions Vikings, the rematch. Kind of really cool to see the way that they've stacked and wrote this script this year for the Lions because the script writers, dude, we got Vikings and Bears right at the very end. So looking forward to this season. And I appreciate everybody liking and subscribing. We're almost close to 300 subscribers on YouTube. So please, if you listen to us on Spotify, go back and follow us on YouTube and vice versa. Spotify, it's climbing. Twitch, we're live on Twitch. We're live on Facebook. Got a couple subscribers on Twitch. That one is still new. Starting to build that. Let me know what I'm doing right or wrong on there. That one is hitch free. He's actually not allowed on Twitch. That one is going to be if you want a hitch free show, you can go watch it on Twitch. He's not allowed on Twitch. And stick around for next week, and I'll tell you why and what he did live on Twitch that just got him banned for life. But hey, this is going to be a fun season. I know most of you right now, and I can hear some of my negative friends going, oh shit, it's all over. Like Herbdo texted me in a joking, sarcastic manner. Well, I hope at least. He said, Lions suck season over. So my friend Adam, he lives down in Florida and he's a Lions fan and we go back and forth during the game. And it's kind of one of those games where I didn't really have much to say. It was just kind of like the poop emoji is everything I wanted to say. That's how I felt watching that game. So, and the bigger and better things, obviously, Detroit Fan Forum, we have Pistons coverage, hockey coverage. That's something I don't want to lose sight of, right? Now that baseball's over with, we can talk about when the New York Giants are going to sign Tarek Skubal. We can talk about that. We can talk about the Pistons and the roller coaster of a season that's going to be, where Cade Cunningham is going to put 35 points up every game. It's just going to be, can those boys make it worth it? Dude, Cade continues, in my book, in my eyes, have MVP written all over him already. So they're not going to talk about him because he's a Piston and it's a Detroit. It's not a big market team, but Cade continues to prove he's worth everything. So, and then we got the Red Wings, a youth movement, super exciting. Can't believe that the Wings have stirred up as much excitement already in the sports world that they have, but they've done a really nice job. So Stevie's saying, listen, you guys asked for it. Here it is. So Buffalo Bills just scored again. Thank God. 14-10. They've got, here, let's put it up for anybody that is currently watching. We really need, for some reason, I don't even care if the Lions lost today. I just need the Bills to beat the Chiefs. It's like one for the good guys, right? Look at that. Doesn't it look nice to see Buffalo over Kansas City right now? So Buffalo needs this win at home, guys. Give Buffalo this win. We already watched the Dodgers win. Sick of that shit. But yeah, where I wanted to get back to after I got completely sidetracked is World Series is over with baseball, so there's lots of Tiger stuff to talk about. So what I want is everybody to start thinking about realistic options of what you think this team's going to look like next year. And we all know Chris Ilitch is not going to spend money. He's not going to be giving everybody contracts. He's not going to be saying, I want this, come here, come here, come here. I will pay you this much money. It's just not happening, guys. This is going to be a team where he's going to pressure AJ Hinch to take all these draft picks that they have and give Scott Harris a little bit of freedom to go out and get some guys. But Bregman won't be there. Torres will be gone. Just going to have to fall in love with these young kids, I think. I think this is just going to be where you start to see Lions, Pistons, Red Wings, Tigers. And why we thought the Tigers were World Series bound this year, right? Because we snuck into the playoffs. We're far from that. We're a bottom baseball team. With a bottom payroll, that's what we're going to continue to be. Tigers, I think you are the sacrificial lamb. You are the one that will be done. The Wings have surpassed you. Stevie Y's done a fantastic job of making sure that Scott Harris probably becomes the GM we hate the most, and we leave him alone, because I think we were beating Stevie up for a little bit. And it's hard to beat anybody up in the Pistons organization right now because they've done a really nice job. I think really when you look at free agency, because the NBA's rigged and it sucks, there's a lot of it's a hard conversation to have of getting excited for. In the NFL, you can sit and write your little Madden laundry list of players you want. But in the NBA, it's not easy just to say, give me this player, give me that player for Cade, right? We can say, let's see what Jaden Ivey's going to do when Jaden Ivey comes back. But there's no way we're going to say there's like 2 or 3 players that are out there that we need to grab that are big market players. Detroit's never been a big market basketball team. We won it with the going to work. We won it with the bad boys. We did not win it with, we are Golden State. We are LA. We are, for some reason, Houston. Kevin Durant does not want to be a Piston. Nobody wants to be a Piston except guys that wanted to get paid and prove that they're worth it, right? So let's see how this plays out. I think we've got 2 more years of patience with Cade, and then we'll look to move him if we can't do anything with him before he's wasted. But still, 2 more good seasons of the Pistons in us. Red Wings, sky's the limit for these guys, honestly. I think Red Wings hockey is going to be something we'll be talking about second most to Lions football. So, yeah, put it in the comments. Let me know what you think, what your where your head's at. Who's your favorite, right? Who's your team that you're like most excited to watch? Is it the Red Wings? Is it the Tigers? Is it the Pistons? Is it the Lions? Is it Hitch's fantasy football team? Is it DCFC? Are you still watching Ninja Turtles on YouTube like I do sometimes? What are you most excited about watching? Put it in the comments. Like and subscribe too. Please do not forget. That's very important that you do such a thing. So, by the time this gets posted, Patrick Mahomes has been arrested for uncovering for his role in the gambling scandal. Can you imagine that if the NFL had a gambling scandal with one of their major players, like the NBA did in the 90s, where Michael Jordan retires for one season and then comes back? Can you imagine if that happens like with Mahomes and he gets caught gambling and he loses his smile or retires for one season and then Patrick Mahomes comes back? Like, what kind of a world would that live in, right? Michael Lavati says the XFL. Lavati, Jesus Christ. You know, you should look into seeing if they're looking for like open edition for XFL cheerleaders. Is the XFL? Hold on. Didn't that just become the UFL? The XFL? It no longer exists. Yeah, so that is exactly what you're most excited for. Something that no longer exists. The UFL. Okay, so the UFL is still a thing. He says you're welcome. So this is exactly what I think we should do. The UFL is a thing. UFL cheerleaders. Hey. No, University of Florida. Okay, so Lavati, you're out of luck. The UFL is not going to be bringing back cheerleaders. Why don't you cheer for the Broncos while you're out there in Colorado? You ever give that a thought? You ever think about that? Go try to. Can you do that in the cheerleading world? Can you walk on to the cheerleading team, or do you have to be invited like a free agent? That's actually interesting. I want to know, Labati. So when you're a professional cheerleader, because you were a professional cheerleader for the Pistons, did you have an agent? Did you have to pay union dues? And could you be traded? Like one day, could you wake up in your hotel room or your condo or wherever you're at, and they say, "Listen, you've been traded to the Broncos. Pack up your gear, pack up your stuff, and get out of here." Right? We shipped you off for a hot dog machine and some nacho cheese and another cheerleader. Right? I want to know, is that an option? Because there's got to be a dark side of the cheerleading world, professional cheerleading world. I mean, there was a dark side of American Gladiators. There has to be a dark side of cheerleading. So he says he's officially retired. He said I'm sure you could walk on. There are tryouts. Okay, so there we go. So I would like to see you walk on to a professional cheerleading tryout for the NFL for the Denver Broncos next season. Can you think we can make? I mean, whether you make it or not, I just go for a day. Is that something you can give us, please? I would pay big money to see that. And I think the whole world would too. I know at least 10 of our friends would pay a lot of money to see that. So probably be a lot more interesting than that Lions game. God, I just felt like they were just punching themselves in the nuts during that game. Like, did anybody else think maybe that's the title of this episode is they punched themselves in the nuts or punching themselves in the nuts? Like, that's what they did. I'm not, and I don't want to take away anything from the Minnesota defense, but that was just a nut punching game. The small amount of spirit that was available before has left my body. You had no spirit. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've ever met a cheerleader who loved cheerleading more than life itself, but absolutely had zero spirit, it was Mike Labati. He could not stand spirit, but he loved cheerleading. I don't get it. I'll never understand. That was a big quarrel that we would have in college of Michael, you lack spirit, but you love cheerleading. And he never could answer why he did what he did. Biggest mystery of my life. What? Biggest mystery. Always will be. Even if he answers it, it'll still be a mystery to me. But I'll tell you what's not a mystery. How the Dodgers are favored to three-peat again. Of course, it's not a mystery for that. Look at the payroll. And I'm telling you right now, like, fuck all this Tarek Skubal to New York. He's probably going to be a Dodger. Like, let's be honest, right? They're in need of a $600 million lefty. They have to. So here's the answer. He said, girls, that's the answer. Oh, okay, if that's what you say. I don't know, man. I want to get you on here. Are you free to hop on right now, Lavati? You should hop on right now and explain why you became a cheerleader to the world. He'll say no. So here's my next question. For any Lions fans that are still watching, what does this mean for you for the trade deadline? Where do you sit now from where you sat before this game? Is this a situation where you say, I'll feel a lot better if we go out and trade for Trey Hendrickson? Is that or God damn it, Lavati, what's your email? Put it in the chat. Or text it to me. I don't know. Actually, you know what? I might still have your email in here. Guarantee you I remember it too. He would put it in there. Trading for a defensive end when it's our offense that sucks. So hold on. The offense does not suck. That's a very bold statement to say our offense sucks. Jared Goff still put up fantastic numbers. Our offense stumbled in front of their own feet, and they were shitty with pass protection, but our offense doesn't suck. Okay, I will say this. This is one thing I'm going to have to agree from one mark to another mark is needing draft capital to rebuild the O-line. Yes. Quite honestly, I could do an hour about just what I'd like to see this O-line look through the draft through from Michigan and Ohio State and all the Big Ten schools and how I want to redraft this O-line and get this beefer. Yes, everything to me is about this O-line. So I don't know. So maybe we just don't really do much at this trade deadline. I don't. Is anybody out there still saying we need to do everything with Trey Hendrickson? I'll tell you what, right now, because the Colts after that game are going to get rid of his ass. Oh, we can't be firing Johnny. That was on our offensive line, guys. That was bad pass protection in our offensive line. We cannot fire Johnny. And that's a timeless thing that we could bitch about is the play calling, right? So what are you going to say that the play calling at the end is the play calling we should have saw at the beginning? Because, yeah, the play calling in the beginning looked stubborn. But, hey, listen, think about all the times this season, the 5 times that you've enjoyed that play calling that looked like that, right? So I'm not ready to beat these guys up and beat them down that hard, right? When David Montgomery fumbles the ball, that's on David Montgomery, not Johnny. When they have shitty pass protection, right? That's on Taylor Decker for letting a defensive tackle like Mr. Hargraves come by on a shitty pancake block, right? I saw just a lot of sloppy technique on the offensive line. So whether you call the right play or not, if the offensive line is not playing, right, and this goes back to the draft capital to rebuild the O-line, then what are you going to do to push these guys to play better? Who's barking behind them and saying, hey, listen, I know Taylor Decker, you're an aging vet, but listen, you can't sit here and tell me that if Ben Johnson was here again, that this game would have gone any different, right? Those guys didn't execute properly. So, yeah, he's definitely not the most, he's not Ben Johnson. I'll give you that. He's not the most creative play caller. And yes, sloppy coaching is definitely a technique issue too. I agree. Here we go. Speaking of sloppy and technique, we've got Paul Tuttle from Orange County Choppers. He's out here now in retirement. He's done making motorcycles and yelling at his son to join us.
I thought you would enjoy this face that I have going on right now.
Yeah. No, you definitely look like you build motorcycles in Staten Island. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mike Lavati, the cheerleader extraordinaire, all the way out from Denver, Colorado. He
now
was in the
motorcycles.
chat, now building motorcycles. So he was nice enough to join us. You know, we're getting into this conversation, right? We're basically just airing out our dirty laundry on bitching about the offensive line, how sloppy the technique was. So we're calling out the offensive coordinator for not adjusting. How about this? Adjusted way too late towards the end of the game. But I'm telling you, too, that no matter who's calling the plays, when David Montgomery loses the ball, when Taylor Decker is not doing the things we see him normally do, when, you know, Penne is not Penne, it's just, that's a team L. That's accountability across the board on everybody, right?
Yeah, so, it definitely looked ugly.
Didn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
I thought they were going to come back there, but, yeah.
I've seen this disappointing. Maybe that's the title of this episode, disappointing, right? I've just seen it too many times where, as a Lions fan, it's pretty clear where you can call out and say, okay, hey, listen, it was because of this guy, right? Oh my God, it was a glaring, what the fuck? I want to get rid of this person. And that's one that I'm telling you, as soon as Dan Campbell hits that press conference, he's going to say that one's on me and just end it right there and say everybody did something wrong. Everybody, right? I know we're hard on Johnny Morton right now, or he's the offensive coordinator, right? But like, dude, when Goff still has a passer rating of 108% and you lose, you're clearly calling correct plays, maybe not the most explosive plays. You're setting your quarterback up for success. But, dude, when you fucking drop the ball or you're sloppy on your penalties, right? 10 fucking penalties.
Yeah, I was going to
It's
say,
just
it seemed
like
like penalties killed us. And then, to be honest, their defense looked really good.
they just were out to prove something.
Yeah.
Maybe they threw the fucking kitchen sink at us and said, listen,
Well, how many
this
sacks
is
did they have?
5. So did we, though. It was a 5-for-5 game. We actually had the INT as well. And if you look at the stat sheet, we win the stat sheet. We win time of possession. We win the offensive stat sheet across the board, right? Justin Jefferson didn't do much. Yeah, he caught a touchdown, but again, they made the most of all their good field position. They made the most of all of our fucking mistakes. And that's just really what bothers me, right? It's just like you beat yourself. You can't come on here and just start bombing people. You just got to say that was us. That was the whole team played stupid, hungover. We got the Legion of Whom would look so awesome. They looked shitty. Awesome against Tampa, and they looked crappy against Minnesota.
Was it all the same players as with Tampa?
Plus, because obviously we got Brian Branch back. The only one we didn't get back was Kirby Joseph, right? So Terry Arnold had his first INT. You wouldn't have noticed the way he was playing, though. It just, to me, Brian Flores, right? And this, our commenter Mark says that he outcoached Campbell and Shep. That was Brian Flores all day, Mike. That's their defensive coordinator. He outcoached the shit out of us. And that's really what it came down to, coaching. So kudos to Minnesota. I still think the division's ours. I'm not worried about it, but we got outcoached. We did. Outcoached. You remember some of those cheer competitions where you dropped those girls and they broke all their legs and arms and you were just like, God damn it. Back to the grindstone.
Yeah, fuck Pat.
Exactly. Jesus Christ.
Blame it on him.
Blame it on him.
Yes.
Yeah. So how is Colorado?
That's going well. Trying to plan the trip back. Second week. No, sorry. The week after Christmas. So maybe we can do a live and I'll just be there.
Yeah. Yeah, there's room for that. I can make that happen.
And you could be the heaviest one in the room.
Isn't that crazy?
For the first time ever.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah,
yes.
That's really weird. I never thought that would happen. That was a goal I'd set out a while ago, and I finally achieved
started living with me.
Yeah, a long time ago, like 15 years ago. Yeah, but we're getting ready. We just set up Christmas decorations and a Christmas tree down here and get the basement ready for, trust me, dude. We were going to have a relaxing Lions game and turned into everything had to come down from outside and everything went up. Well, just in the basement. We haven't put Christmas trees outside or upstairs, just down here. So, yeah, I don't know.
It's one step at a time.
One step at a time. So I was hoping to get a Lions W while we were setting everything up, right? Because Jason's at the game. And
who'd he go with? His friends?
Yeah. Now Alicia and I are supposed to go to the Giants game. That's our plan. So hoping one of us can get a W in person, because last time I got to go, it was the Bills game last year. We got beat. So maybe it's us. Maybe every time we go, the Lions lose. But yeah. So
what what was I just gonna say? Oh, have you talked to Hitch? I'm just so curious. Is he saying anything? Or
Hitch sent me a message today, a text. It was like a TikTok video of somebody playing like a Billy Strings. He's an artist. He was playing music. And I just sent the image of the Shun from The Office to him back. But yeah, no, Hitch is still MIA. I personally think, and at this point, prove me wrong, that motherfucker works for the CIA. And ever since Trump got put in office, he's been up to something overseas. So that's my opinion. That's what I think. I think he's behind the tariffs. I think Hitch is behind this aluminum issue that we have going on right now at work, the microchip crisis that we're hitting. So he's up to no good.
It's just so wild that he just MIA. Haven't seen him in so long.
Listen, and before I have to say it one more time, yes, the bright side is Packers lost to the Panthers. Michael, I got into a long heated discussion on TikTok with this Panthers fan about the Lions taking over the North. And I'm sitting here watching my phone, not only waiting for Hitch to message me from one of his burners, but for like these Packers fans to start talking shit. And I'm like, why aren't these guys talking shit? We're losing right now to Minnesota. And because you lost to the Panthers at home. That's like losing to Lakeview High School football team in 2004. Like the worst football team ever beat you.
What was the score? I didn't see that one.
Like 16-13. Like Jordan Love had an interception, no touchdown. They looked awful. Like in the stat sheet, I didn't see the game, but I'm assuming they looked awful. If the Panthers beat you by only putting 16 points up, you're awful. But yeah, so I don't know. Maybe Hitch is here right now. But I'm really just waiting for some coaches to get fired in the NFL because Mike McDaniel's the coach of the Dolphins. I
thought he was going.
I thought so too. He's got to go. I mean, like, I cannot believe some of these coaches still have jobs. Because the only reason I'm saying this is I'm trying to think of all the positive things right now after a Lions loss that I can think of. Like some of these teams that were in rebuild mode with us, like the Dolphins, shoot that whole fucking thing, burn that whole thing down, right? They're trading it away. Their coach is 72 pounds and all yacked up, and he wears capris. Like, it's awful, right? So, like you said, at least we're not the Packers. At least we're not the Dolphins.
I mean, it wasn't the worst, but it wasn't a good loss either.
I'm just having a little hard time digesting it. Just having a little hard time digesting it.
Did you do a pregame today?
No, I haven't been doing the pregames.
Okay.
Those are a little different.
Right as I sat down, but
yeah, I haven't. I did a couple pregame. I did a couple pregame episodes where I think I maybe hit like the wrong time slots. I think what I would do with a 1 o'clock is they're telling me on YouTube that 10 a.m. is where people are out there watching pregame stuff, but it seems to be up until the game. No one really messes around online. So I might do a pregame for another prime time. At that point, what am I doing? Just rambling like I'm rambling now twice?
Fuck it.
That's true. That is true. You got so much more emotion though after the game, right?
I figured, yeah, I'd pop on here. I'm actually not doing anything, sitting around. Brandy went to go get a tattoo.
She get a tattoo of?
I don't know. Just adding on to her sleeve.
Okay, she just said, I'm leaving to go get a tattoo. And you said, all right, me and my mustache will be out front.
No, she had this appointment planned for weeks, but yeah, she's been slowly working on her sleeve, and it's just, I think it's like every other month she has an appointment to just add on. It's a lot of the artists kind of, whatever they
so
they
this
talk
is
about
like
it together. It's
a continuous thing. She's got these standing appointments and she's building on it. Gotcha.
Yeah. So they do little bits at a time, and, a couple, like $200 worth or whatever, nothing big. It's just spacing it out.
She's not just going in there randomly and saying, 1 week I want this, 1 week I want that.
Right. There was a time where it was like some flash sale that they do, and you have like, I don't know, 8 different designs that you can choose from of this flash sale. So that's where the skull came from on her, kind of like her wrist, forearm area.
Skull.
Yeah, her whole arm was almost.
Yeah, that's something covered. I gotta get.
She tried to talk me into going with her.
Do it.
I know. I just didn't want to today. I do want to get a tattoo. I don't know.
What would you get it of? Make it cheerleading related.
That's the question. I'm going to get a big C over here.
Light up the darkness. Just a big mural of Will Smith's face on your chest.
The fucking 300 tattoo on my back.
The lyrics to Whoop, there it is. Pretty simple.
I just played that in class yesterday.
I was driving home from basketball with Jason, and we were listening to that, and it came on, and I go, Mike Levati used to play this song by the group Tag Team all the time, endlessly playing basketball, and I'm not sure why.
D2 Mighty Ducks. It was on the soundtrack.
Oh, is that why it was on D2 Mighty Ducks soundtrack?
Mm-hmm. So that's what I played. So it was like the Hey song or whatever that's called. I can't remember what it's called, but then Whoop, there it is. And it was like the first 4 songs. And then I'd be like, all right, I'm done with basketball. Or I'd rewind it to the beginning.
Rewind it.
Yeah. Full
D2 Mighty
rewind.
Ducks soundtrack. Okay, so that came out in 94.
So we 8.
Yeah, so we got Queen, We Will Rock You. Yeah, we were about 8.
Oh yeah, that song. We Are the
Poor
Champions.
Boys, You Ain't Seen Nothing Yet. Gary Glitter, Rock and Roll.
That's the one.
Mr. Big Stuff.
Mm-hmm. That's
The
usually
Mighty Ducks, Sweet, Dave Newman. Whoop. Yep, tag team. There it is. Wild Thing. The Trogs came on after. Oh, that's a terrible lineup. Whoop, there it is. Then Wild Thing. And then I don't know what this song is, but it's called I Want to Drive, Zamboni. We Are the Champions, and then Rock the Pond. That looks like it was written just for that movie, Rock the Pond. So I'm sure Rock the Pond is awful.
I don't remember, but I did just as I moved out of the condo, I threw the big radio away that I had at Central, and the D2 Mighty Ducks soundtrack cassette was still in there, and I threw it all.
You threw that out? Damn, dude, that's legacy.
Tossed it.
That's why the Lions lost. Holy shit. Look at this. So I just took a look up, and the Bills are winning 21-10 right now. I don't know if anyone's watching the Bills game, but like, again, this is really what I wanted to see happen. The Bills beating Kansas City. Okay. If we lose to Minnesota and we take that 1-1, whatever, I don't care. We'll play Minnesota at the end of the season. Bills have to beat Kansas City. Kansas City cannot go to fucking the Bills at home and beat them. Fuck Kansas City. Sorry.
And so Bills are up, what, 13 right now?
Yeah. I think, hold on. Kansas City's obviously in the end zone as I'm saying this, but yeah, that's just my point, right? Like, you're not going to win every single game. You don't go 17-0 and then run to the Super Bowl and never lose. But certain things have to happen, and Kansas City cannot beat Buffalo in Buffalo. I just don't want to see that. I'll cry. As I say that, hell yeah. Patrick Mahomes, his head just exploded on TV, and he's dead. Sorry. 4th and goal. Sorry, 21-10. But yeah. So, dude, it's like... sorry. Go ahead.
I'm going to change the subject to your hoodie. Is that the new one?
This is the new hoodie. Yes, it's on the Fourth Wall Fan Forum website. This is a champion hoodie. It's actually really nice and comfy. I have to wash it though because it smells like bonfire from Halloween. But yeah, it's really cozy. It's
what's that? Are you wearing an XL?
Yeah, this is an XL. I got a hat too from the website, and there's a lot of new stuff on there with the new logo. But I'm gonna do it where I got the red instead of the blue. And then we'll do like I'm trying to do like all the sports, right? So like Lions won, Pistons,
what are you getting at
Red
here?
Wings, Tigers. Tigers are probably like I have an orange. It's like an orange and blue. And then Pistons is like the blue and red. And then the Red Wings is just pure red. So yeah. This was
I'm gonna have to order that again.
Yeah, you gotta do something about that. Someone has
I did reach out to them.
Nothing.
Oh.
Nothing.
They sent me over here, then I reached out to them. They sent me back over there. I reached out to them again. I was just like, all right, fuck you guys.
Yeah, it just took work and something you hate doing with follow-up.
Phone calls, emails. Oh my God.
Yeah, you hate that. That sucks too because you know, in your line of work, if you don't follow through on things, bad things could happen. So I won't mention it, but outside of building motorcycles in Staten Island.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, have you been watching I know you're in Colorado, but have you been watching the Wings at all? They're 8-4. They're looking pretty fucking good.
I have not, but I heard you guys talking about them. They're doing pretty well.
Yeah, they're nice like start. I don't want to say it, but it could be some 90s shit again where we have a lot of names we like and a lot of jerseys we're liking and a lot of shit we're enjoying. So
how many games are in the hockey season? Do you know?
A shit ton.
Like 80, yeah. 82,
80 some.
I'm just guessing.
I was actually... So you remember plaques, right? Back in the day, you'd have those wooden plaques.
Yeah, that you took a picture of mine?
Yeah, well, these actually had cards in them from Not You.
Oh, okay, yes, yeah.
I had some Steve Yzerman and Sergei Fedorov plaques, so I took the cards out and sleeved them. And I'm thinking to myself, now's probably a good time to get like a Lucas Raymond card and some of these young dudes, because hockey is a weird sport when it comes to collectibles. Not big like basketball and football, right? Like very strange.
Like cards?
Yeah, like you would think. There's so many legends of hockey, huge legends of the 90s era hockey, and their cards aren't worth the value of, let's say, NBA or NFL, right? Where the value, or Yeah, of course, like a Derek Jeter card, right? But like, name some big hockey players, and I can tell you their cards really aren't worth that much.
Yammer
Strange.
Yager,
Yeah,
Call
just not.
Trombley.
I mean, Call Trombley, exactly. Yager's super overrated, and the only reason why Yager did anything is because he played for 58 seasons. But like, yeah, it's just it's strange. That's all I'm trying to say. So as I'm going through all my card collection, for some strange reason, the hockey stuff does not resonate with fans like basketball, baseball, football. Anyways, so yeah, that's all.
Do you still collect cards, or does Jason?
Yeah, we both do. I mean, I guess we both do. I sleeve them all and buy a lot of them. He gets excited. He likes opening them. I mean, it's just the rush of opening them, and then I'm building up my collection again with his and our collection, and then I told him all this shit's yours. But I've got some stuff that's like graded from PSA.
Do we talk about? Do you remember Michelle's sister's like first husband? So when I was dating Michelle, she was married to him, and he was super into cards. Where like there was hundreds of boxes of sleeves of cards that he would have, and he would trade them and all kinds of stuff. But I mean, that was the most cards I've ever seen. MLF, you know what I mean? Like like the long box where just put the cards in, double wide. So he had to have 100,000 cards,
blue plastic things, and
yeah, his are all like cardboard boxes, but they're
oh yeah, no,
everywhere.
These go in the cardboard boxes. So
okay,
that's where I'm not in that collection. I've got, let's see, 14 boxes filled of new stuff that I just have collected, plus all my old stuff that's in binders that I'm taking out, because the way we did it all with binders and sleeves, like with that you could scroll through, it's not the safest way to keep your cards. This is the way you do it. So I've been going through all the cards and saying, okay, which ones are worth protecting and putting in boxes. But yeah, it's just a lot of money, dude. There's a ton of money into that shit. You can have cards that are worth millions. I mean, a $20 million card of Mickey Mantle rookie, or you can have plenty of cards that are hundreds of dollars. And then they all have to get graded. So there could be a bent corner, and that could be $200 off that card. So it's a very interesting market that you can get sucked up into. So yeah.
Been a while.
Yeah. Dude, and that's the thing. It had been a while for me, and then COVID hit, and then we started on the soccer team that year. I was talking to a couple of the dads that were probably about 10 years older than us and still collected cards, and they kind of got me into it. Actually, that one Michael Jordan PSA I showed you, the one dad he gave me is like a starter. He's like, here you go, get your collection going. But he was basically telling me, he's like, listen, dude, it's a crazy, weird market to get into. And they gave me all the advice and kind of let me go through all my cards from a nostalgic point. And we're like, yeah, most of that shit ain't worth money. It's these certain players and certain eras and certain years. And I don't know, if you're a nerd, it's cool. But if you're not, then whatever.
Guess I'm not. So good.
Well, I don't know. Did you collect that shit when you were a kid? Or
Yeah,
did you do it because you liked it, or did you do it because your friends liked it? Did you do it because Trombley was doing it, or did you do it because you liked it?
I mean, I liked collecting them at the time. I would say that. Yeah. Having the binders and shit. And,
yeah. It's fun.
Going to Bob's. Bob had so many over there.
Bob had a ton of cards?
Or unless I'm confused that with his mom's scrapbooks stuff. But
okay, well, his mom had a shitload of scrapbooks. There's no doubt about that.
That's why I'm like, were those binders scrapbooks or cards?
They could have been a little bit of both.
I can't remember. Yeah.
I mean, and there was a time in the era, like 10 years ago, I watched this Netflix documentary when they weren't worth shit. A long time where they weren't worth anything, because it's all about exclusivity and who's willing to pay. But yeah, they're back into it. So Herb's I don't want to say big into it, but he's kind of like me, where he buys boxes and he collects at like a normal level, like not an unhealthy level. There are guys that spend lots of money on cards compared to what we spend. I buy like $30 boxes of cards, right?
And you just don't know what's in there. People, is that what we're saying?
Yeah, you don't know obviously what's in there, but Mike, what you're looking at is you're looking for certain ones. So like they'll have, okay, think about the stock market, right? There's penny stocks that you can buy. They're low risk, low reward, cheap. And then there's big stocks you can invest in that take a big amount of money on the initial end, but you can get big rewards and have cool cards. And so you can buy these big hobby packs where they've got hundreds of cards in there, but it's like $600-700, right? Do you want to spend that much on wax? Or do you buy these little $30 boxes at Target or Walmart and you open them up and then you hope in there's a couple cards worth some money? So like we got cards yesterday where in a $6 pack, he pulls a card out. This is Anthony Edwards, and I scan it. And if you grade this thing at a 10, which this thing's mint, even raw, it was like $30. Okay, so you've already got more than it costs for the pack. This card is a $30 card the way it sits without getting it graded. Now he's supposed to be a big player. The better he does, the more his card's worth money. I'll give you an example. On Father's Day, they bought me a $30 box of cards, and I pulled an autographed Austin Reeves. Raw, it was worth like $200-300. So not bad. Is that going to happen every time? No. And there are certain brands that you can buy that don't really have a lot, like the base level cards. You want the old shiny and shimmery ones. So yeah, it's a whole rabbit hole you can go down.
Show me your collection when I'm back.
Yeah, you'll have to. But yeah, fuck it.
Well, we kind of got off the fan forum topic there.
I know. I started talking. No, it's sport, dude. There's trading cards. It's okay. It's no big deal, dude.
When's your next one with Tom?
So it's funny you say that. So I got Herbno and Robert on deck for an episode. We're gonna.
When you say Robert, you talking about Bob?
I'm talking about Bob.
Okay.
Yes. So Herbno and Bob have agreed to come on Tuesday. That we'll record and then it'll come out on Thursday. It'll be out on Spotify probably on Wednesday. What time are we recording?
Yeah, I mean, Tuesday's my busy day, but just curious.
We won't be live. I don't know. Maybe we should go live. Probably like 6:30 is when we'll record. I've been doing my Thursday episode that comes out on YouTube pre-recorded lately, and doing the lives for after the game. But yeah, I can always switch it up. It's no big deal.
Yeah, again, Tuesday I'm not gonna be able to. If it was live, that'd be 4:30 here, and I start my class right at that time.
Yeah, that's when you'll be working on your bikes, waiting for Paulie Jr. to get in there and start grinding on shit.
Well, this is my alter ego.
That's going to be one of those, dude, with Herbno and Bob.
Yeah, a lot of hockey talk.
A lot of hockey talk, a lot of Red Wings talk, a lot of nostalgia talk, a lot of
Have they been on together yet?
No, that's why it's going to just be, I think I'm just going to have to sit there and I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. It's all still new to me.
You can be like a moderator.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to say much. I think I'm just going to let those two go at it and let Bob and Tom talk and catch up because they know way more hockey shit than I do. And obviously with the Lions losing, no one's going to be ready to talk football. Yeah. They're going to be more ready to talk anything but probably football until we get closer to that Washington game. So we play Washington next week.
Yeah. What is that, 4?
Yeah, 4:00 in Washington. So no distractions of home, which I know it sounds weird, but I feel like Ford Field is such a hot place to play right now that you can fuck with your head and get a little too cocky because they played cocky as shit. They just didn't seem like they had to work hard. I don't know. Like the deck has to be stacked against this Lions team. It almost seems like your whole secondary's out. Baker Mayfield's coming to town and you're on prime time. Oh my God, they're shut out. All right. Everyone's not everybody, but they're healthy. You had a bye week and Minnesota's home and it's a 1:00, but you should just walk through this game, but you don't. You stumble over yourself. So kind of strange. So yeah, it'll be refreshing to have Herbno and Bob to talk some Red Wings hockey.
Yeah, I'm excited to listen to this.
Me too.
So wait, you put it out Thursday then, right?
Yeah, so every Thursday there's an episode that's on YouTube. Guaranteed 7:30 p.m. it'll be out. And then the day before it comes out on Spotify at 6 in the morning. Don't ask me why. These are the times that people like. I've just let the analytics do their job. And then, yeah, this one that you and I are doing right now, I will put this out edited on Tuesday. So that will be playing while I'm recording for Thursday, if you get my drift.
Multitasking.
Look at that. So plus Tom drops all these random hockey videos and Lions or, videos. I'll be sitting at work and he's like, hey, I put a couple videos in the bucket and we have like an open folder in Google Drives and he'll record his 10-minute videos get like 700 hits. My shit gets like 7 people that,
I feel like he throws so much information in so fast.
Well,
so many stats, and I'm just like, whoa.
It's how people watch videos. So, you and I are TV show watching people. What I've learned about everybody nowadays, especially on the internet, is they just consume quick. And like if you're doing recap videos for a team in a season where there's 80 games, right? By the time he puts something out, it could be irrelevant. So he's got to bang it out. And if you look at these other sports videos, I mean, it's a minute and a half. It's nobody. It's pretty much AI video or voice, and it's just pictures of the games. So like with everybody living in an autistic world, that's just how they consume material. That's really why his videos do better than this long form stuff, which is strange. But anyways, I think he does a great job at doing them. He spends a lot of time on the scripts, making sure what he says is accurate and tight versus me. I just ramble and Hitch. Good Lord. Half the time, Hitch's camera's not even lined up right. So Hermdo's professionalism is
telling you, I died
next level.
When you said, it was a few ago, where you talked about his eye. Is he even real?
Is he even real? We'll never know. We'll never know. He could be
went
robotic
down that
at
hole
this point.
so quick. It was just like, which eye is working? Which one's real? Is he even real?
Well, like you think about it, you've grew up in a world of video games where like, okay, you had these video games that you thought were next level and high level technology, and that you dust them off again, and you're like, huh, you're just poking it. And that's what Hitch is. He's like a robot, an old robot. It's like, what are you doing, man? Like, get going. Are you even real? So,
just miss seeing his face.
I do too. All kidding aside, he's just had lots of stuff going on, and
I'm sure he has.
I do miss seeing him. I do miss talking with him. He is a good sport at letting me make up weird, nonsensical shit that I don't know.
Next to Bone, off the wall. Again, it's like,
yeah.
That, as you get into the Hitch talk, it's like, just put that belongs in our group chat of you just.
Yeah, not real conversation.
Real? Yeah, right. It's the best when you're like, okay, real question though.
Yeah, so we have a group chat.
Check back in real quick.
That everybody, I'm sure everybody in their friendship group has a group chat, right? Where it's just nonsense. You just spew out stupid shit, right? It doesn't have to make sense. It just gets to the point where I go, guys, pause. This is real. I'm actually having a conversation right now. Right. So I need you to take me serious, actually read what I'm saying, even though it's not super serious. But yeah, those group chats are therapeutic in my eyes. It's just me and Bob, stupid shit.
Me and Nielsen, just a sprinkle here and there.
Yeah, a sprinkle, a thumbs up. God, man, I'm telling you, dude, everybody is so hard on Johnny Morton right now, our offensive coordinator, and I am going to stand up for Johnny Moe. It's the O-line. This is the O-line, and I hate to bring up faded memories of a game, but, dude, Johnny Morton isn't that bad. Dude, that was our offensive line. There must have been some post-game conferences or press conferences we missed because we have Johnny Morton sucks Mandingo poll. Man, I'm telling you, this guy's not that bad. He still called a pretty decent game. Man, some of these I probably shouldn't keep on the screen for that long. 10 seconds. Ooh, I could put him on for 20 seconds. I'm going to do that next time. I do appreciate all the comments, though. Even though you're bashing the shit out of the offensive line or offensive coordinator, I think we're better than that. I don't think we're our old Lions team where we have to start looking at coordinators to take out back and shoot in the back of the head. I think this is a game where if we're a team like Kansas City, if we're like a team like Buffalo, where we are really just thinking about the playoffs, this is one of those where we go, guys, that was some ugly tape to watch. And when they're watching that, I bet you they watch that whole game back in silence right? Like if you're the defense and you're watching that, and you're the offense and you're watching that game, what more do you even need to hear from your coordinators? Silence, right? Sloppy,
Right. It
stupid
just
shit.
was not executed well.
Yeah, just that was it. So I'm not going to hang this one on Johnny Moe, right? We could beat Shep up too, right? Even though we still had 5 sacks against him, we could beat Shep up. Say, okay, what did you do with your corners who are healthy again, right? And look at this. I don't know. So I'm going to drop all that.
Yeah. Chalk it up to a bad game.
All right. Well, Nick says, what I realize, teams that aggressive DCs that disguise the blitz will have beat the Lions and cause problems with the O-line. Okay. Now that is a general great observation. And that's what Brian Flores did. Disguise the blitz and beat us. That was our pass rush that just got absolutely chewed up. They did not see a blitz coming, and that's why you saw the 5 sacks. That's why you saw our offensive linemen kind of stumbling around, not knowing what to do. But that's bad adjustments, man. That the teams are going to do that. That's not like some crazy concept if you're a defensive coordinator where you're disguising the blitz. We're just disguising it a little bit more. And Brian Flores, like, I blitzes like 50% of the time. So disguise or not, if you prepared for that game, you should know he's getting a blitz, right? So just expect it. Bad execution on the offensive line. That's it, right? And he says, okay, yeah, the defense was on the field the whole third quarter. God, that third quarter sucked. I hated watching that third quarter. If I could shoot any quarter in the head, it would be the third quarter. That's, you blame that on Hitch, Mike. That's
There
what
it
we
is.
do. We blame that on Hitch.
I like that. He'll
We
take that one
can't
for the
blame.
team.
We got to blame that one on Hitch. That was honestly, that was the first time he's texted me in like, I don't know, 6 months. So if you want to
Did he
blame it
text
on
you
that,
today, you're saying?
yeah, during the game.
Oh, okay.
Don't ever do that again. That's why they lost.
Go back to
Don't
Russia.
ever do that again. And go back to Russia. Which is fucked up because America and Russians are friends, dude. We've had a secret pact with Russian since World War II, right? Once we both realized we had nuclear weapons, we were like, you really think we're going to fucking nuke each other in some global No. That's why I'm telling you, Hitch is over in Russia with his liberal ass right now having fun, soaking it up. And you want to know why? Because I bet you there's indoor smoking in Russia. He will do anything for indoor smoking.
Man, he should build a restaurant.
I talked about that
or
with
a diner.
him. Yeah, just to
Bring
just
Linda's
violate the law and just have indoor smoking. I actually found the Monty's menu. Yeah, you're right. Could call it a casino.
You found the Monty's menu?
Yeah, were you ever at Monty's?
I never went, no.
You never went to Monty's? Okay. That was over on 8 Mile and Harper. That was that one was more of a quiet hidden gem, and then it got demolished when Linda's was bumping and we were all in our prime of like leaving the bar and then going somewhere. Monty's had already been
for 2 hours.
So Monty's was where Hitch would have sit-ins. I'm talking, he would take the whole, I'm not kidding you. He would take the whole corner booth, and that restaurant wasn't like Linda's. It wasn't dingy. It wasn't dark. It didn't stink. Like, it was a nice diner, bright lights. It was just older. It had the little jukeboxes on the table, and it was just 8 and Harper, and it was in a kind of like a tucked away area where nobody went anymore. And then they sold the building and property and knocked it down. But it wasn't like Linda's where it was grungy. But we just went in there because we found it one night, and we just went in there. Nobody was in there, and we would just sit there and chain smoke with the waitresses. And when I look back on the menu prices, I'm like, yeah, soup was $1.50, right? Fries were $1.15. Like, you went in there with loose change to eat. And Hitch sat in the corner fucking booth and had like a sit-in, and he's like, if anyone wants to find me, I'll be here. And he just sat there. People would come in shifts to visit him.
They have appointments.
Like he was Jabba the fucking Hutt, just sitting in the corner oozing out. But yeah, probably smoked 48 cigarettes that night and had God, think about his heart. Had like 700 cups of coffee.
Just cruising.
But yeah, we would literally take up 2 or 3 booths and spend, I don't know, because coffee was 75 cents at that time a cup. So I mean, I would just chain smoke. He would chain smoke. So we would just smoke, drink coffee, and maybe order a plate of fries, right? You would never catch Hitch in there ordering food and spending money. He would just loiter. I would maybe order something. Dave would order something. The people that didn't smoke would come in and order something. But Hitch literally would only loiter. Like when he walked in, he just said, "Heads up, not buying shit. I loiter. That's all I do." So loitering only is for Hitch.
Love it. All right, dude, I'm going to get off here.
I am too. I have some lovely dinner to make. The Bills are still winning. I want to thank everybody for joining. The comments are awesome. I do agree we have a lot of problems with our offensive line, but I'm not worried about it. I think we have the right coaches to clean things up. Speaking of cleaning things up, Labate, I love your mustache. And
it's going tomorrow. It's going tomorrow.
Oh, well, I'm glad we have it online. All right. Well, thanks for joining.
All right, dude.
Like, subscribe, tell all your friends. And your friends suck. Bye.
Yes. Goodbye.